Hey everyone. So today's video is the install of the HydrosPlus Connection Plus FlatFace couplers. And if this is the first time you're hearing about them, let me give you just a little bit of background and then I'll show you just how easy they are to install. Now the idea behind changing to the FlatFace couplers is for a number of reasons. And the first of which is probably not by itself enough to justify the couplers, but for me it actually is, because I hate these things. These plugs here that are required because you have to, let me show you a close-up of one. You've got to try to keep dirt out of this cavity. And of course it's pointing forward and things are shoved in it if you don't have some type of plug in it. Now I still don't use them. I'll just take the risk of getting dirt in them or clean them out just before I make a connection. But that's number one. Number two, and this isn't always the case, and let me see here. I'm gonna rob this one since I don't have the loader on this tractor. You really need to have, well, it is true for this, you have to have two hands. See if I can connect it. I might not be able to connect this one. Let me free it up here. I can't even do it with no pressure on. There we go. You got to have two hands to connect this. With the FlatFace couplers, this one would be stationary. You really just need one hand. You just push it in and it connects. Now, also when you push this one out, it pops out very forcefully. That's just, I don't want to say they're made better, but they're made in such a way that they absolutely pop out. On this one, as an example, I think theoretically you should pull this and it would pop out, but most often it's more like this. It doesn't pop out, so you have to pull this, and if you pull it, it'll eventually come out if you've got it far enough back and it stays back. So there are some nuances there that are not ideal. The other thing you're seeing right here happen actively, these leak. I mean, you're gonna have some, these are supposed to be rated for something like half a gram of, or I can't remember what the amount is. It's a very small amount of fluid should leak whenever you disconnect this using these. Here, this thing, and there's a puddle right there that you can see that is actually leaking out, and the loader's been off this tractor for nearly a week now, because I've had it for nearly a week. This is my friend's tractor that I did the Turbo Plus install on, and I just finished up doing the power comparison. So really good results, nearly over 50% increase in horsepower. So we went from about 17 to 29 horsepower at the PTO. So excited about that, but we're talking about FlatFace connectors here. But you can still see, I mean, I've got fluid on here. So that's really what number three. So you've got these dangly things, two hands to connect and two hands to remove most of the time, and the fact that they leak. These just aren't a very good solution. Why do we keep using them? Really, the reason we keep using them is probably the same reason I'm only going to put these on his loader, and I haven't actually told him. He'll know before he sees this video, but I'm going to put these on as a thank you for him letting me keep his tractor for basically a week. I think I went and got it last Saturday, and I had to do some other things. I didn't expect to keep it this long, but I did, and he was gracious enough to lend it to me. And also, you know, I want to make sure that if I ask for a favor again, he feels guilty because I put these on, and he's going to, you know, basically be, at least if he doesn't want to let me borrow it, he'll be guilted into it. So, so let me change these out and I'll show you how easy this is. Like I said, we're just doing the loader, but what I was mentioning is the reason we still use these is because if you have other implements, and he actually has a bunch. He's got snow blade, and it has a loader, grapple, all kinds of different things on the front. So that's why I'm only changing these for him, so it works with the loader. But if he changes the ones on the front for the third function, and he may do that in the future, he's going to have to buy sets for every one of his implements. Most of us only have maybe one front implement that uses a set of uses hydraulics. So that's not that bad of a deal where you have to, buy one additional set. But if you have to buy a bunch more sets, then that can get expensive. But with that said, I do plan on, if you end up buying the 4, which are for the loader, and that's what these are really designed for, there will be discounts for additional volume. So if you're getting them for your third function or getting them for additional implements, I'm working on how to price that out in a way where I don't get burned, but also you get the most value, and you have the right incentive to actually just move all of your implements to this model. Now, of course, if you were to come borrow somebody's implement, then you would need to still have something like this. I don't have them right now, but I will make available basically a conversion kit where if you were, you would have something like this and then a ag fitting on the other end. That way, if you did happen to borrow your buddy's implement that needed hydraulics, you could actually connect to them. Now that we have access, I went ahead and grabbed a light so I could kind of see what I'm doing. And what we're trying to do, I'm not going to move the camera, I'll keep that out of your eyes, so I guess. Is this fitting here has a snap ring groove right here. There's a snap ring in it. I would say you can do this without snap ring pliers, but you definitely probably want to get some. And this is in kind of a tight spot, so having a flat screwdriver as well. So if you can get in here, get on your snap ring. Now sometimes they just cooperate, but also sometimes they do not. And it usually has to do with just how dirty things are. So I'll open them up and then go ahead and get the snap ring started back. That way if I lose it, or I lose the bite on it, then I can get it out of the groove. That's really what you need to do. Once it's out of the groove, you're kind of home free. And so you can just slide it back here. You don't have to take it completely off because we're going to put it back on here shortly. Straighten this up. Go ahead and get this second one off. And then won't make you watch me do them all. This one cooperated pretty well. Light here. Snap rings are one of those things that some days you're like, if you have the right tool, you're like, yeah, this is great. And other days you're like, why do we use these things? All right, so I've got those both off. I'll save the other ones for off camera. But we got a 13/16 here and it's an 11/16. And this might be, let me see, because some of these are different. Yeah. 13/16. So we'll go ahead and break this loose. Once you break it loose, this out of the way. Should be, well, take the wire out of me. You should be able to turn these fairly easily. These are O-ring Boss. So if you're a Kubota user or other tractor user, the ones that I have they're O-ring Boss. If you may have O-ring Boss, you may have, you probably more likely have pipe thread. So these won't work with pipe thread unless you have an adapter. And that's probably not going to make as much sense if you have to do an adapter with these. Now, I'm making these, I'll say somewhat specifically for John Deere because the brackets that they use, they always use that same snap ring approach. Like on my Kubota, I have the single point, so I don't have that challenge. But for other Kubotas I've seen, most of the ones I've seen use pipe, and they don't use that snap ring to hold it in. So may not make as much sense for those. But if you have a tractor that uses O-ring boss and it uses the 1/4 inch couplers, then these may be the solution for you. So I got this guy on. Get a good bite with my snap ring pliers. Now once you get close, you can just get it up there and then just pop it on. You don't have to put it all the way on with the snap ring pliers. All right, so that was the first one. Very easy to do. I'll just do 2 here while we're on it. Break it loose. Now, on this, again, might be a little bit slick, and see if we can get it to turn without having to use the wrench the whole time. When you put this on, this does not spin on a flat face. So this does spin, so that's why I'm having to use both hands here. Get it off of here. Try not to bump the camera. So these are probably from, I think, 2016, and I can tell this is brittle. Probably gonna break at some point. All right, where's the red one? Oh, there we go. Pop this guy through the hole. Make sure my O-ring seats. Tighten it up. Get your snap ring. Get it all the way over the edge, and then make sure it's seated. Just pop it on. When I say over the edge, what I mean is once I get it up to this point, then I can just push it back. All right, I'll do these other 2, put it back together and show you what it looks like. All right, we got all 4 on, and I need to give a couple of tips, I would say. You know, I'd taken these off and I went ahead and put them on, and I was just kind of showing you the process, and I was going to do the other 2. But this one right here, the one on the bottom is really no problem, but this one right here is a little bit tricky. Because of this piece, it is hard to get your snap ring pliers. Now, I think I mentioned my snap ring pliers, that I have individual ones. Sometimes you buy one set that does all the functions. But with mine, the ones I have that when you clamp them, they actually open up on this end. They're not here. That's probably the ones I would have used. Because I didn't have that version, I was stuck using this version, and there really wasn't a whole lot of room to use. So I ended up using the screwdriver a little bit more. But I would say, go ahead and take these loose, take the snap rings off, and even move these tubes kind of out of the way and give you access to the back ones. Change those fully. I would say change this one very first, and then once they're back together, go ahead and do these, and then you'll be good to go. I'll go ahead and put the floorboard back on, show you what it looks like all back together. All right, there she is all back together. Looks nice and clean. Maybe one color out here. This one, right, which I guess you could do whatever colors you want as long as you match them appropriately, but I have green instead of black, so we don't have black. And these are the standard quick connect. Now these will connect under some, a little bit of pressure there, as you can see. So that connected under pressure. They will connect under some pressure, but not really high pressures like 3000 PSI. So when you're taking these off, you still want to take all of the pressure off your loader, and then you can just pop them off. So it's like this, you just push it off. Now these also, if you do spin them, hang on, you have to do it this way. If you don't want it to come off, you can just turn it, and it'll lock it on, of course. Now these aren't really indexed, so you know, in the case of mine, they seem to all be on the other side. But, you know, if you push back and turn, you'll find that notch and you'll be able to pull them off. So if I end up going, I think I will end up having connect under pressure version that works at a higher PSI. I really don't think it's needed. I think these are better here because they're shorter, but maybe some people are going to want them for maybe especially for implements or on the other side. So if you buy these and we do come out with the connect under pressure, then you'll be able to upgrade for no additional cost. And what I mean by no additional cost, if this was $10 and the connect under pressure was $15, you'd only pay $5. I'll send you the connect under pressure plugs. You'll send me the standard ones back, and then you will have not paid any more than if you would have bought connect under pressure the very first time. So that's the deal I will do. I always want to make sure that the people who are early adopters are not punished for improvements in the future. So we'll continue to do that. But that's it on the install. I would allow probably an hour, because you will do, I thought maybe that I'd be able to do this without taking this off. I think you need to take this off mainly because of this guy. You could do these three probably by just kind of bending this up and keeping it out of the way. I'm one of those people that I want to take as much, I want to take as few things off as possible. I know others are out there like that as well. But at the end, go ahead and take this off. You have to take your this front cover here off, but once you take it off, you'll have access to everything. You'll fight with this one a little bit. These all three will be very easy. All right, that's it for the install. Thanks for watching. Questions, comments, leave them below.